Hello everybody, this is Venus Brown. I'm glad you're here. If you are here, if you want to watch later, that's great too. We are getting ready to watch my reaction and then follow that by a recap of Derry Girls Season 1, Episode 4. So without further ado, let me begin.
Which one's ours? She doesn't send a photo. Her family probably don't even own a camera. She'll find Derry a bit overwhelming at first just because of how advanced everything is here. All the cracker stuff we have. They have some pretty cracker stuff where she comes from too. Oh really? Like what? Disease? Poverty? No? You can get this wee woman made of wood, right? You pull her apart, and inside her there's an even weirder wooden woman.
Hello everybody, this is Venus Brown. I'm glad you're here. If you are here, if you want to watch later, that's great too. We are getting ready to watch my reaction and then follow that by a recap of Derry Girls Season 1, Episode 4. So without further ado, let me begin.
Which one's ours? She doesn't send a photo. Her family probably don't even own a camera. She'll find Derry a bit overwhelming at first just because of how advanced everything is here. All the cracker stuff we have. They have some pretty cracker stuff where she comes from too. Oh really? Like what? Disease? Poverty? No? You can get this wee woman made of wood, right? You pull her apart, and inside her there's an even weirder wooden woman, and you pull the weirder wooden woman apart. Are you talking about Russian dolls? Jerry. I'm gonna give them a whole fiver. That's definitely happening.
She's taking change from the tip.
Did you just wink?
And today we welcome some very special guests. The Waynes from Chernobyl, who've come over to give their wee lungs a bit of a clear out. Because, sure, there's all sorts wafting about in their neck of the woods.
Okay.
One might well question the wisdom of sending you here, of all places. Out of the frying pan into the, well, maybe not the fire, but certainly a different type of frying pan. Please, don't worry yourselves too much about the whole civil war, sectarian conflict carry on. There's really only one thing you need to know. We're the goodies.
Letters? Well, descriptive narrative has always been a strong point.
Your letters I see on news.
What do you mean you've seen on news? You don't tell news in the Ukraine. You don't have television.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
We do.
Really?
Of course.
Aaron, stop hogging the Russian.
Yeah, come on, Aaron. Give her a go.
She's Ukrainian, actually.
I don't read your letters, Aaron.
I'm sorry. I don't follow.
Your letters. They bore.
They're boring.
Exactly.
That's not what
I can smoke your yes?
No. No, you can't. Mommy's like a bloodhound.
Do you mind say we could come up and have a look at the Russian?
Ukrainian. Is this her?
As in,
Have you seen the one? She Harkin was telling me you were in Duggan's bakery yesterday lunchtime.
Well, that's hardly news.
2 buns, he says she ordered.
No, I often do.
An apple turnover and a cream horn. A cream horn? That's not like you, Brenda. Sure, you couldn't pay you to eat a cream. She said when you left Duggan's, you turned up Pump Street. Pump Street? Who do you know on Pump Street there? What were you doing heading up Pump Street with a clutch? Buying cream horns for his fancy woman, Sarah. What do you think of that?
We met at the stations of the cross.
Which station?
Jesus goes for a second time.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing, love. Well, just keep out of it, you.
And that's who you were winking at in math? Winking? At your age? Christ, I feel sick.
It was only a friendly wink.
There's no cold. And you're straight back out there, winking away.
Your mother's been dead 10 years, Mary.
Look, I'm not telling you again.
I'm sorry. I seem to have lost my appetite. Still trust her, okay? And that thing she said about my letters being boring, I really think she's playing some sort of twisted psychological mind game here.
or maybe your letters just really fucking dull, Aaron.
My letters are a quick and read.
I'm not comfortable with you talking about my girlfriend like this.
Aha. And she also fancies James. You don't find that a bit weird? Oh, that is a bit fucked up in fairness. I can't get my head around it. I'm telling.
Sorry?
Because of the radiation, they all glow in the dark?
Okay. Yeah,
Tell us what
that's
this means.
totally how
We
it
need to
goes.
break down barriers here. To no longer define ourselves as Irish or British, Catholic or Protestant, but simply as human, with human hearts and human heads and human hands and other human qualities. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans. Incoming ride. I repeat, incoming ride. Hi, everyone. This is our town.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ja, de mają shooty seksualne.
She straight up has him on a leash.
He doesn't say much.
Is he tied to you?
Yeah, he kept wandering off. Well, chocolate fountain or not, I'd actually prefer to keep our Ukrainians separate, so... Oh, Christ. David, Thomas, just come on. David's here. Right, okay. Don't walk. Nobody look. I'm playing at this time tonight.
Oh no, Christ, no. I just do a bit of DJing at the side. Make a bit of extra cash. Welcome back at your ching. But my band, we don't really do covers, you know what I mean? In this game, you need a wee bit of integrity.
Now, whatever you do, don't forget the grace. Actually, on second thoughts, I think this party would be really great for Katya. Might help bring her out of her shell a bit.
She's just not interested in y'all.
Oh, you look
Doesn't mean
very
she's got a shell. Not really.
flippy.
Yes, I like. We go now?
Katya. We need to take the pyre out of these symbols. Genuine question. Why can't you just be fucking normal? Enjoy the chocolate fountain, Orla. Very much. Toilet privileges half an hour ago, now I can't find him. What? Listen, I know this might be a bit shocking, but I think Katya is planning on taking James's virginity tonight. I found condoms in her bag. Actual condoms. Like, I don't even think they're legal in there. Why so fair? We have to stop her. Yes! Yes! What she can't do, James, is not a pastime or a plaything. Look, Erin, if she wants to ride James, just let her ride James. Nobody else is ever going to want to touch the poor fucker. There you are. Oh, how hard you get, are we, R10? Or it could be, just not interested. Uh-oh.
Hi, these are my daughters. That's Mary, and this is Sarah.
Hello, Maeve. Maeve.
I'm Mary's husband, Jerry. We're Mary and Jerry, and we're living in Derry.
Mary and Jerry and living in Derry.
Get the tea going.
You'll not have to ask Maeve twice.
Sorry, look, did you say something?
Jerry's name is on the house, not my dad's, if that's what you were thinking.
If what's what I'm thinking?
Sugar daddy you're after, is it? I just want to let you know, Maeve. We'll never call you Mammy.
Okay.
And I just want to say, although I'm not happy about this thing with my dad, I have to give it to you. That is a cracker blow dry. Great volume, lovely movement. You want me and I want you. Let's stop playing these games.
Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm begging you. Just leave me alone, please.
Why are you suddenly Irish? I have something to tell you. Ooh, don't doubt. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I think Katya is planning on having sex with you tonight.
I know.
You know?
I'm meeting her upstairs in a bit.
She told me to have some food first.
Apparently, sex uses up a lot of energy.
You do not want to do this, James.
Yes, I do.
You're not ready for it.
I am.
She doesn't love you, James. She's just using you.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't care.
It does make you wonder why do they all of a sudden care when they treated him so
Fine. In that case, I'll
terribly
just
all
come and
this
watch.
time.
Just stay here. One night.
Where's Katya?
I don't know. Up there somewhere trying to mug my friend.
Hey, oh.
James? What is this? Financial gain, that's what.
The attractive boy, Erin.
And imbecile. And thirdly, all night, we Ukrainian fellas have been coming up and giving her money they owe her. How the hell do you explain that?
A present to thank her for a nice party.
Oh, you guys. Right, okay.
Yeah, I wondered what was going on. I did not think she was
It's not only you
charging
insulting me,
for
but
sex.
you've also
So.
spoiled Jenny's surprise. Please. I'm finished talking. She is racist, patronizing bitch. I'm a racist, patronizing bitch.
Come on, girls, night, please.
Well, you don't really want to go to Jenny Joyce's house, do you, love?
Yes, I do. Apart from anything, it has 8 bedrooms and a chocolate fountain.
I hope you're happy, Erin. You've just done a study of us. Ukrainian?
Good for you, Mr. Joe. She is hot and you're not dead. Yet. Why not have some...
Does Jenny Joyce's house really have 8 bedrooms? Well, some of the bedrooms, they have these wee tiny bathrooms attached to them. Imagine.
They're just not letting Jimmy. Maybe see it last then, eh? Here, give me a hand. Tell Sarah, this is the fella that blow dries my hair. He's an artist.
Nice woman. Mary and Sarah will come round eventually, Joe. It's just hard for them to see you with somebody else young. As far as they're concerned, their mother was perfect.
Piss off, Jerry. You are perfect.
Right. That was Derry Girls, Season 1, Episode 4. And they presented with these other young adults. Derry Girls, Season... Right. That was Derry Girls, Season 1, Episode 4. And they presented with these other young adults who were from Russia, Ukraine area after the Chernobyl accident. Misinformation and stereotypes that kind of exist back and forth between the two groups because they don't necessarily know each other very well, and they only know what they've heard from media from other people and news and things like that. So that was interesting. And I want to say they start out and they're like all nice and happy about it, like the young adults that are from the Chernobyl accident area are basically placed with different families around Derry, and that particular family got one of the girls that they were going to have stay at their house, and at first the Derry Girls seemed to be like all happy about it and everything, but then as they got more first-hand impressions of the girl, they decided that they didn't really like her because of the way that she was acting, and especially the one blonde girl who thought that she was going to be I don't know, this kind of just nice person or whatever, and she started telling her that her letters were boring and that she stopped reading them, and so the girl felt insulted, and after that she didn't really seem to like her anymore. But the girl really liked the English kid, and I thought it was interesting that, like, all this time since he started coming there, from the first episode, most of the Derry Girls have been treating him pretty cruddy, and this episode, the girl from the Ukraine, she decides that she really likes him. She thinks he's very attractive, and they think that this is odd and disturbing, and that she must have some ulterior motives or something like that. So they go about trying to prove that this girl is manipulating things or has something going on, and yeah, it's really, I find it a little weird that like all this time they've been treating him so terribly, yet you get like halfway through the episode and they're all concerned about him and what she's doing with him, when they didn't seem to care about him at all before. But now it turns out the girl really does like him. She doesn't have ulterior motives. She just really likes him. She's attracted to him. Okay, so that's going on. They have the thing at school. They walk back from school. They figure things out at home. They go to a party. And while all that stuff is going on, there's this other storyline going on with the grandfather. I think Mary is the mother, and then I'm thinking her sister's name is Sarah. I have trouble getting the names right, but I think that Mary's the mother, and then I think her sister is Sarah or something like that, and they're noticing that their father, the grandfather, has been paying attention to another woman, and apparently this is 10 years after his wife had died, and this seems to be the first time he's really paying attention to another woman. So they are not used to it, and especially Mary seems to be very, very upset and not like this idea at all. So they hound him about paying attention to this other woman. And then later on, while the teenagers are at this party, the grandfather invites this woman whose name is Maeve over for dinner, to have dinner with the rest of the family. And it seems like the sister, I'm still going to say Sarah, but I'm not 100% sure, it is, she's handling it a little bit better. Mary is very upset about the whole thing, and she is not giving her the time of day. So yeah, that whole situation goes how you probably would think it would when the adult children really have this admiration for their mom and dad, and one of them had died, and they feel that relationship was really special, and that person was a really good, wonderful person. So that's how that goes. It goes pretty badly because they are so obsessed with the fact that their dad is kind of moving on with somebody else, and frankly, anybody else will probably never seem to measure up to their mom. So, and towards the end of the show, the lady Maeve, she's like, she readily acknowledges they're your daughters just aren't ready for this. But this I thought was really cool. She goes and gives him the information for her, basically her hairstylist, because the other sister, Sarah, had complimented her on her hair, her hairstyle and her blow dry and all of that, and so she gave him the information for her stylist to give to that sister, so that she could she said he was an artist. It was pretty cute. Let's see. And one of the things, when they're getting ready for going to this party, they find out that the girl that is putting the party together, the Ukrainian or Russian that she is with, she has him on a leash. Okay? And later on, when you're at the party, you find out that this kid is not from Ukraine or Russia at all. He's actually Irish, and he just accidentally fell asleep on the bus and ended up grouped with this group of kids from the Chernobyl incident, and never managed to get away from there. And the girl had him on that leash and was like keeping him the whole time so he couldn't get away. I mean, you would think he would just talk to her parents and explain, but whatever. Either way, she's got him on a leash, literally keeping him everywhere with her. He finally gets off the leash, and the other Derry girls find him and start asking, like, what is going on, like, because he starts talking and he obviously has an Irish accent, and she's like, how are you all of a sudden Irish? And so yeah, he was on the bus, he fell asleep, he ends up in this group of teenagers from Russia, Ukraine area, and gets stuck in that situation until that point. The girl from the Ukraine that was in that main family for the Derry Girls, staying with them at their house, she is seen in various points in the party getting paid money from other guys from that group. And so the blonde girl just thinks, I guess, that she's a prostitute, that she's having them pay for sex. So she is assuming that she's a prostitute, and the reason she's with James is because she's getting paid to have sex with him. And that did not occur to me at all. Like, I saw the exchange of money going on, but it just made me think, I wonder what's going on. I wonder why they're exchanging money. But at no point did I think that she was a prostitute or that she was getting paid for sex. I thought it was something else, but I didn't know what it was. Let's see. And poor James, he never does get any because just the whole day goes backwards, and then of course the blonde girl just straight up publicly in front of everyone at the party accuses the Ukrainian girl of being a prostitute, of getting paid for sex, and the girl is like, that is not like how dare you accuse me of being a prostitute? I'm trying to get money together to get a present for the girl that actually put the party together. So I'm telling you. And of course that resulted in her being very, very upset. The girl that threw the party she seemed to kick the blonde girl out, but everybody followed, and then the next scene you see them at the house, and the Ukrainian girl is done with them. She's deciding she's going to stay with somebody else in their house, and this house has 8 rooms, something like that, so it's better. And I think that's the majority of the show. So yeah, you've got these kids being kind of put in different households in Derry who are just trying to get a little bit of an escape from the whole Chernobyl incident. And you've got all these various misguided ideas based on misinformation and stereotypes and whatever little bit of information that they've been given. And I think we all know how badly that can go, how we are given so much misinformation, or we're only given little bits of information about certain types of people, and so we form these opinions based on that little bit of information, and we make those opinions about the entire group. What was the other thing? One of the things that the girl from Ukraine pointed out when they were, because the more heavyset girl, she's like, oh, we have so much in common. You know, we're both young people, and we're in these, you know, in these tough situations, and the girl from Ukraine's like, no, this is not the same thing. We had a really horrible accident, and you have some people that fight with each other for no real good reason. And then the other girl's like, oh, but you know, it's the politics and religion. And she's like, no. You have two different flavors of the same religion acting like you're a different religion fighting together. And it's silly and it's stupid. And I always have kind of wondered about that. Like this massive division between Protestants and Catholics, when they really are the same religion. They view things differently. They have different traditions and ideas and culture and stuff like that. But you have that in almost every religion. You have that within individual denominations. So just because your traditions are different, or the way that you practice your faith is different, doesn't mean that it's a different faith. So I have always kind of wondered about that, and I thought it was pretty cool that she distinctly brought that up, that, you know, you're talking about the same religion and with just different flavors, and yeah, that was interesting. I think that's about it, honestly. Not as funny as previous episodes, but you know, it's a topic that's not supposed to be funny, so that makes sense. And the whole thing with you know, your parents' spouse dying and them eventually moving on, even if it's years and years later, it can be very touchy subject, so that's not necessarily going to be funny either. But it was still a good episode. Just because it wasn't funny doesn't mean it wasn't good. And that is all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to let you go, and I need to go and get some food. I am hungry.